I'm going to diagnose the biggest reason as to why you're leaving a bunch of money on the table every single month. And the reality is, it's not just your problem. It's probably 99% of entrepreneurs. You don't have the right systems set up in your business. Now, I know you're like, systems. I'm trying. Before I explain to you why there's a disconnect between your current business as it stands and why you keep leaving a bunch of money on the table and the systems that you do have and the systems that you want to have, let me give you a little bit of context. First of all, in business, there are only 3 areas. In any business, there's only 3 areas. The first one, sales and marketing. The next one is finance, and the last one is operations. Having systems set up in these 3 areas is critical. Now you might be like, okay, great, video over. No. There's actually one more area in the business, right? You are the CEO. Your business might be small right now, or it might be medium. So you're operating in all those areas. But there is one more area that should trump all of those areas. Are you ready? Decision making. That is your job as the CEO, is to make decisions. CEO can be broken up into 2 roles based on the book Traction by Gino Wickman. Love that book, by the way. 2 roles, being the visionary or being the integrator. But both of those roles, if you're so lucky to have 2 CEOs or 2 partners leading a business, or if you're just one person doing both things, both of those roles can really be boiled down to decision making. Okay? So what does that mean? The number one system that you need to have in place is a system for decision making. This is massively important. And so this is why you feel overwhelmed every day and your thoughts are consumed with worry and overwhelm, because you keep thinking of different things that you have to make decisions around. And so your brain and your thoughts is clouded around just the stresses and the confusion and the overwhelm and the lack of clarity around all these things that you have to make decisions around. And you can't even start thinking about those 3 areas: sales and marketing, finance, or operations, right? So let's talk about setting up systems for decision making. Before we do that, I have a story to tell you. It's very, very personal. So if you've been following this channel, if you've been following me for a while, then you know that I've been making a huge overhaul. It's actually been like a 3-year process, but over the last couple of months, as of right now, it's mid-February 2025. Over the last couple of months, like I said, over the last 3 years, but over the last couple of months, it's been like I've just been making a lot of decisions and making a whole lot of changes. Okay. Closing down some of my products, opening up new products, actually not closing my products, but just not making my products available to new people, right? So the people that are in the Better Than Success Real Estate League, they're in. They're not going anywhere. No more new members. Sorry. I'll open up the doors every once in a blue, but this is a closed conversation. And number 1 rule is no jabronis. So this is a jabroni free club, and I need to make sure that we keep it that way. Okay, cool. All right. So I've been doing new products, and I also launched a $15 million real estate fund, which I'm really excited about. And one thing, since I've been an entrepreneur for 15 years, one thing that I've always been acutely aware of is the reality that when you're a business owner, you like to start businesses. And it's okay to have more than one business. People will tell you like, hey, focus on one, focus. Some of you are just not that person. Like, you are an idea fountain, and you need to be doing a lot of things, and that you just feel whole that way. Like me. It's not that I need to be doing a lot of things. I just have a bunch of ideas. So the max I can do is 3 businesses. And I'm here to give you permission to do 3 businesses, but under one caveat. You have to figure out how to make those businesses integrate. Okay, I keep making this story about you, but it's really about me, right? So I made all these changes. Now I got all these 3 separate businesses. I got Better Than Success. I launched this income accelerator, which I changed the name from the God Goals and Money Income Accelerator to the GGM High Performance Income Accelerator. You're going to find out why I changed the name in just a minute, and why high performance is so important. I promise you, you're going to appreciate it. So I got all these things, and I am very unsettled when I have 3 businesses that don't speak to each other. Like they don't lend to each other. So every time I'm doing something in one business, I'm operating in silo. It's not necessarily helping the other business. So what is that? That's a decision that needs to be made. And that's a CEO decision. Only a CEO can make that decision. So I needed to sit down and figure out how to just tweak everything to make it so that I'm running one big business with just these 3 different departments, so that I'm not tugging on myself, or these businesses aren't tugging on me. Now, I'm going in depth about this because some of you need to hear this. You have multiple businesses, you have multiple passions, and you have multiple customers in these businesses, people that are willing to give you money. You may have limited resources. You can't hire a whole staff. You can't hire another CEO. And I'm here to tell you, you need to figure out how to make them speak to each other, how to make one business support the other business and support the next business. Or maybe you create a funnel where one product in one business then upsells to another product in another business. They all need to speak to each other. Okay? So that's why I'm telling you that part of the story. So I kind of started massaging it and making it all speak to each other. I prioritized this top of the priority list over the past, 30, 40 days. And then I made a crazy observation. Now, I've talked about this on this channel. I believe that we are secretly in a recession. And it happens. It's not terrible. It happens. We're in a recession. We might even be in a depression. How do I know? I'm going to give you 3 reasons of how I know. A depression or recession is typically characterized by a widening of the wealth gap. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer. Okay, so if you think about kind of like on a curve, there's this dip in the curve where the middle class is, you're either getting pushed to the left or you're getting pushed to the right. Okay. And so the first clue that I had was Walmart dropped a fake Birkin bag and the internet went wild. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, a Birkin bag is a really expensive bag made by Hermes, and the cheap ones are $15,000. There's a waiting list, there's a whole entire process. And the expensive ones are hundreds of thousands of dollars. You've seen these bags before, okay? And the internet went wild. Now, I'm old school. Where I come from, you cannot proudly rock a knockoff of another product. It's just not a thing. But the fact that everyone collectively went wild over these bags let me know, hey, plus here's another thing. The fact that Walmart dropped it. Now, you know that these big companies, large corporations, they have access to information that we don't have. And so they were fully prepared that people were going to go crazy, and they positioned themselves to sell what's called an inferior product. Inferior products always do well in times of recessions or depressions. Okay. So think if there's a recession or depression, a cup of noodles, they popping because ain't nobody got no money. There is a famous story about how during, I think, the Great Depression, way back in the day, that lipstick did really well. Now, not that it's an inferior product, but people are looking for ways to feel better about themselves, look better. So red lipstick just did beautifully. Okay. So here we are. We got these bags that are doing great. Hello? Crazy, right? Here's my second clue. My second clue comes from the fact that just recently, actually I have way more clues than this, but let's stick to these 3. The second clue comes from the fact that just recently Beyonce dropped a perfume line, and I am not on short form social media right now. I'm not on Instagram. I have way bigger fish to fry than to follow up on short form media platforms, or y'all know I've been talking about that, like how it affects you in your business and all that stuff. I've been talking a lot about that in this channel, but I'm not on short form media. I'm not on any type of Instagram right now. I did log back into TikTok when they made it available and immediately deleted it back off of my phone. But when I went into TikTok, I saw this girl talking about how Beyonce dropped this perfume, and everybody went in on her in the comments like, girl, we can't afford it. Like we don't have nothing left to give. And so the people are speaking out. They don't have the money. They're literally telling everyone. Now, here's my last clue. I hope that I am right, but apparently Apple, as of tomorrow, as of recording this would be tomorrow, Apple is releasing a new phone, and it's a cheaper, lighter version. Why would they do such a thing? Because they know that people can't afford these big, giant $1,500 phones. Okay? So what does that mean to me? And I'm telling you this is my story. You do not have to, I highly recommend that you take my advice. It ain't really advice. Remember, I'm not giving any advice. It's for entertainment only. But I highly recommend that you follow suit. But if we are in a recession or a depression, then you need to think about where the money's going to flow. The money's going to flow to superior products, ultra superior products, or inferior products or services. Now, here's another thing. Part of my teaching philosophy when I teach about business, when I teach about real estate, specifically about real estate, I intentionally tell people, do not define your avatar, right? So like, hey, let's come up with a customer profile because we've looked at who's bought our products in the past. No, don't launch a product and then find your avatar. Before you do anything, find your avatar. First, here's the first step. Figure out what you want to do, what you want your life to look like. Figure out a general idea of what you want to do. Then find your avatar. Figure out who you want to serve. Who is your ideal customer? Do not connect what you want to do with that customer just yet. Just say, if the world were mine, I would do this because I'm really great at this, and this is fun to me, and this is the highest and best use for me. Do that. Then say, who would be my ideal customer? Not necessarily for that product, but who do I want to work with? Who do I love hanging out with? Who do I love to spend time with? Who I love to spend more time with? Define that customer. Now, for me, when I sat and did this exercise, because I know that we are in whatever this is, whatever recession or depression this is, I said, I want to work with very wealthy people. And there are levels of wealthy. That's a whole nother conversation. Dan Kennedy has a great book on it. It's like No BS Guide to Marketing to the Affluent. And he talks about the different levels. The levels go all the way down to like 80 grand a year. So, we're not talking about like super duper duper rich people. But for me, I want my customer, who I feel like I resonate the most with right now. I did a good amount of research on this as well. Who I feel like I resonate the most with, and the things that I want to teach right now is someone who is a little wealthier. All right, cool. So when I sat back and looked at that, I said, I need to change my messaging. So I don't know if you've noticed this, but I'm speaking a little faster in this episode. I am just cutting right to the chase, okay? And that's really intentional. So I need to change my messaging. So I went back and tweaked my messaging. And then I said, remember, this is all about automating decision making. When I started tweaking my messaging, it created a lot of questions that I needed to make decisions about. And I said, okay, I need to restructure my entire business plan. But I'm not going to do a business plan like they teach in Wharton Business School, okay? Or any of the other business schools. I'm going to do it my way so that it automates the decision-making process. I need to automate my job before I start trying to automate some of these other areas, sales and marketing, finance and operations, which some of that stuff is already automated. Like, I got a lot of technology. I'm sitting here because I'm really grateful that I know how to automate my income. And so I do have a good amount of my income automated, but I need more. I want to say I hate using that word need because it puts out to the universe, but it puts out into the world that there's a separation between me and what I am manifesting. And so I'm already the person that is the person who has more. I'm just waiting for reality to catch up. They just need to catch up just a little faster. Okay. So I just need more, and I need to figure out how to automate this decision-making process because this new messaging, it's going to require me to make a lot of changes, and I'm okay with that. And so what I did was I took last week off and this week. This is why you haven't gotten a new episode of the podcast. I usually put them out by Tuesday, which was yesterday. And I did a whole entire business plan. It came out to 70 pages. 70 pages. Now, this business plan is for me, not you. You'll never lay eyes on this business plan. It's like, I'm joking. I might share it. I don't know. But I did something way better. Okay. So this business plan, first of all, there is a whole entire format for this business plan. It's not, I just didn't just sit here and type. There are a bunch of details that need to be outlined. It's probably about, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then another 25. So that's 30. And then another 5. So about 35 questions that need to be answered. And it goes for any business. Okay. What I will do is I will give you 20 of the questions. The other 35, I'm sorry, you got to be a part of my God Goals and Money Income Accelerator. It's not called that anymore. Oh my God, guys. It's called the God Goals and Money High Performance Income Accelerator. Okay. So you need to be a part of my GGM High Performance Income Accelerator in order to get all of the questions. But you can download just one section of the questions here. Okay. But here's the more entertaining part. This is what I will give you. So I said to my mom, who was like, I'll tag her page down below. My mom knows everything about social media, tech, everything. She knows everything. So I'm like, Mom, I did this business plan. I just finished the business plan. I really want to study it. Like I want to become one with it. I did all this work and I need to make sure that I don't do things like when I'm recording my podcast, I slip up and say the wrong words. I want to use the right words. It's really all about embodying this person that I really am, which is all focused on high performance wealth systems, high performance income systems, high performance wealth systems, both. And this is what I've been teaching you, but I just been dumbing my words down just a little bit. And it's all about high performance. I'll talk to you about high performance and what that means later. But I said, Mom, I need you to I just need to be able to read this and put it into a audio file so that I can listen to it while I work out. And I want to listen to it straight for like 2 weeks because I want to become one with this document. All right. High performance. How do I make sure that I execute everything in my business plan? I need to become one with it. I need to read it. I printed it off. I put it in a 3-ring binder. I need to become one with it. Okay. So, and then also this is something else I want to tell you. I did use AI to help me with this document. Did AI come up with this document? Heck no. AI is okay. Excuse that word. I don't know. I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm talking about AI, not a person. AI be what my mom calls hallucinating. I would never trust AI to do a business plan for me. I did it all. It did assist me though. And I'll tell you a little later how I did it. I'll tell you after I show you this thing that I'm about to show you of how I did this. All right. So fast forward. I said, Mom, I need to, what tools do I use to do this audio file? And so she didn't fully listen to me. And she's like, hey, use this. And she sent me over this software. And the software, it doesn't do text to speech and record it. You do text and then it makes a podcast episode of what you shared. So I did the podcast episode and it's fire. It's so good. So it's these 2 AI people talking about my business plan and I want to share it with you. All right. I want to share it with you. It's really great. And I'm sharing it with you because I want you to create something like this for yourself. I'm going to tell you after this exactly all the steps I took to create this. And then I want you to create something like this for yourself because what I want you to do is listen to it over and over and over again. After you spend all that time automating your decision-making process, listen to it over and over and over again so you can prioritize what systems you need to put in place in the 3 areas of business. Do y'all notice I've been hiding my hands because my 2 fingers, I just need to make it to the nails line. Don't tell anyone, okay? So now that that's across, we can start talking regular instead of feeling like inside my head. Okay. All right, so cool. I want you to live, breathe, eat your business plan. I want you to get a good ROI on your brain, on your noggin. All right. And so I want you to listen to this podcast episode. And if you want to create the same thing, I will give you exactly the steps. And down below, you can get a link to a bunch of free goodies. Also, before we get into this, also, if you would like to access a webinar that talks to you about how to learn my high performance system to automate your income, it's a free webinar. Okay, it's a game changer. So download that below, listen to this, listen at the end. If you want to make something like this for yourself, it was free. Everything I did was free. Okay. So, and everything I'm giving you is free. Free. Like these nails. So listen, and I'll tell you how I did it at the end. All right.
Welcome back, everybody, to another deep dive today. And today we're going to be zeroing in on the strategies of Nicole Purvey. We're going to be talking all about high-performance business and wealth building. So if you're out there and you're thinking about like, man, I really want to take my business and finances to another level, well, you've come to the right place because that's what we're exploring today. And Nicole Purvey, she's got some really unique insights. It blends modern business strategies with, get this, ancient wisdom. And I was so intrigued when I first saw that. I was like, whoa, what's that all about?
Yeah, it's a really fascinating approach. And you know what else is fascinating? Nicole Purvey herself, she's such a force to be reckoned with. We're talking about a Black woman who's leading in finance and real estate. I mean, these are male-dominated arenas, right? She went from being a Wall Street trader to a private equity real estate fund manager, and now she's building a $15 million fund. It's called Invictus Elite Capital Group. And on top of all of that, she's running her own business, and she's teaching others how to optimize their time, how to scale their wealth, all through her GGM High Performance and Income Accelerator program.
Wow, okay, so there's a lot to unpack there. But, before we get into the specifics of the program itself, I'm really curious about this whole ancient wisdom thing. Like, what exactly does that look like in a modern business context?
Yeah, so I mean, it's all about understanding that certain principles of success, they're timeless. So take, for example, time compression. This is one of the 5 pillars of Nicole's system, and she emphasizes that time is your most valuable asset, even more so than money.
Oh, wow, interesting.
Right, and this idea, it has roots in ancient philosophies that value presence and mindful action. But Nicole brings this ancient wisdom into like a modern context by teaching people how to streamline their processes, how to automate tasks and delegate effectively.
Uh-huh.
So it's about working smarter, not harder, right?
I love that.
A concept that resonates with both ancient wisdom and modern productivity hacks.
Yeah, it's like she's bridging the gap between ancient philosophy and modern hustle culture.
Exactly.
I love it. So tell me more about these 5 pillars. So we've got time compression, you said. What are the others? And like, how do they all fit together?
Okay, so alongside time compression, there's this idea of high-performance wealth systems. This one focuses on building systems for every aspect of your business and finances. Then there's systems and income automation, which is all about leveraging technology and automation to free up your time and generate passive income.
Oh, that's good.
Right? Then there's scaling wealth. That's the 4th pillar. And this is where Nicole's experience in real estate and fund management really shines. She teaches people how to build a portfolio of assets that appreciate over time.
Okay.
And then finally, you have timeless performance principles, which, as we were just talking about, incorporates ancient wisdom and spiritual principles into a modern framework for success.
So it's a very holistic approach. It's like from your mindset to your time management to investing to actually scaling a business. That's pretty ambitious.
Yeah, it is.
So now before we get too deep into the how, I think it's important for us to understand who this is really for. Like, is this for everybody? Or is there a specific type of person who would really thrive in this system?
That is a great question. And, Nicole is very clear that her program, it's designed for a specific type of individual. She calls them action takers. These are people who are ready to implement what they learn. They respect systems and structure, and they have a faith-friendly mindset focused on getting tangible results. It's not about passive wishing or hoping. It's about taking inspired action and creating a life of abundance.
So not for the procrastinators or the skeptics out there?
Well, not necessarily. I mean, anybody can benefit from the principles that she teaches, but she does emphasize that, this program requires commitment and a willingness to work smart. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme, but it is a system for long-term sustainable success.
So if you're listening out there, ask yourself, do you identify with that action taker profile? And if not, are you willing to embrace those qualities to achieve your goals? Because from what I'm hearing, that's the key to unlocking the power of her system.
Absolutely. It's about meeting the system halfway.
Okay, so now let's dive into the program itself. What exactly is the GGM High Performance and Income Accelerator, and what can people expect to gain from it?
All right, so the GGM Accelerator is a comprehensive program. It promises to help participants achieve 2 to 5 times income growth and reclaim 10-plus hours per week, all within 90 days.
Wow.
It includes a combination of online modules, group coaching calls, and access to a supportive community of like-minded individuals. Nicole also offers a variety of different resources to support her students. There's a free webinar to get you started. There's in-depth workshops that deepen your knowledge, and even a capital mastery intensive for those who are focused on real estate investing.
So it sounds like there are multiple entry points depending on, your goals and your budget.
Exactly. And she even has a private fund for qualified investors, but that's for those who are a little bit further along in their wealth building journey. But the program's layered approach allows people to choose a path that aligns with their current financial and time freedom goals. You're not locked into one specific track, which I think is really appealing to people who are just starting out or have very specific areas that they want to focus on.
Yeah, that's a smart approach. It caters to a wider audience without diluting, the core message. So you mentioned that she's identified 4 key content pillars to achieve this targeted approach. There's performance systems and time mastery,